Arizona's Real Rock 98 KUPD Fitz Madrid here on the Slayer bus with Tom from Slayer. How are you today?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Cupped. All right.
That's us. We're Cupped Radio. Dude, you know how hard it is? Maybe you don't. I'll just tell you. As a radio announcer, it's tough to not go fucking Slayer every single time I have to talk about this show. It's so good to see you guys.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, it's kind of they kind of go together, right? Fucking Slayer.
You did every single time. Let me start this off with, dude, as a kid, teenager, I listened to Slayer. I love Slayer. It's been a big part of my life.
Sorry.
No.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to do that to you.
No, it's okay, man. Believe me, Slayer's been a positive thing in my life. When you're kids, when they bring something home to bum you out, the way I used to bring Slayer home to bum out my parents, what do they bring to bum you out?
It started off with Britney Spears.
Like, my dad's in Slayer, he'll hate this.
Yeah, and then they don't bum me out.
Really?
Yeah, because they have a broad range of music.
Okay.
Some of the stuff is great. Some of it's like, my daughter's big on the Fall Out Boys.
Okay.
They're okay, I guess.
Right.
What's Event Sevenfold?
Right.
Yeah, both my kids love that band.
I could say that I've talked to those guys a couple of times. If they knew you were listening to music, they'd be very pleased.
Oh yeah, so what they listen to, I of course have to listen to because my kids go, listen to this.
Right.
I'll be like, oh, that's pretty good. Who is this? And then they'll tell me who it is. So it's like, there's some interesting stuff out there that it doesn't hurt the ears, you know what I mean?
Right. This one is sort of like, I'm not the best rock journalist, but this might be the serious rock journalist question, if such thing exists. I feel like it's a little bit like kind of the question du jour to go to Tom Araya. Oh, tell me about your Catholicism in Slayer, which I think is like, whatever you believe is whatever you believe. But I want to know, it's like, why do you think people take Slayer so seriously, where they're like, what's the true deep meaning of what this guy actually feels? Like, why is Slayer such serious business to people?
I don't know.
I mean, because
I don't know. Because I have to agree with you. It's like it's like they take things too seriously. It's like, life is about having fun and enjoying yourself. And if you like something you're hearing, great. And then you discover the lyrics and you're going like, oh my God, that shouldn't change anything.
Right.
That was one time you thought it was a great song.
Right, yeah.
I don't know. People take things too seriously. They put too much thought into things. And when you do that, you get it all wrong.
Right.
You never get it right.
So just sit back and enjoy the whole Slayer thing.
Just enjoy it, because it's the music that makes you move. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the lyrics are, they're second nature.
Right.
And if you get into them, great. If you don't, it's all right.
Right.
No one's going to get mad.
Because it's fucking Slayer, dude.
Yeah, but people do. They take it seriously. Everybody wants to know.
Right.
They want to know what's about. What's this? What's that? Why? Oh, my God. Yeah. But you don't need to take it seriously. Just enjoy yourself and have a good time. That's about it.
You guys, the last time you were in Phoenix, you played all of Seasons in the Abyss. And this doesn't sound nerdy, but thank you, because that is my favorite album ever.
Oh, cool.
So it was cool to hear all of Seasons. And the video for Seasons in the Abyss, can you tell me just like a little memory from that video shoot? Because, dude, I seriously still watch that and get chills now. It's been 20 years.
That was in 1990. It was right before the Gulf War started. It was cold, even though we were out in the desert. It was freezing. It was actually pretty cool. It was a really good experience. The pyramids.
Right.
I mean, that was it. That was the thing for me.
Right.
The pyramids. We first pulled up, right, sandstorm, and we're driving from Cairo airport to the hotel, and they were telling us, the pyramids are right there. Couldn't see them. Just massive sand everywhere blowing. So we got in the car and there was just sand everywhere. It got into the room and everything. Got into the hotel room. The next day the sandstorm was over. Right, open the balcony door and look out, and there's this huge pyramid right there.
Wow.
Yeah, I was sitting there thinking, oh my God, that wasn't there yesterday.
Like, where did this come from?
Yeah, where did it come from? But it was massive.
Right.
It just looked massive.
Right.
And you had to drive a little ways to get to it. But it looked, and there was only one, and it was just massive. That was, to me, it was like, then you got the Sphinx. It's just massive. And unless you're there and you're standing in front of it, words can't describe it. It's just massive.
It's like sometimes you see stuff and it's not as big as you think it's going to be, but this is bigger than you think it was going to be.
It was just massive. I was thinking like, this thing is huge.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's big. And the closer and closer we got, it just kept getting bigger and bigger. Yeah, it was kind of like being at the Vatican. You see this building and it's really big, really nice. And then the closer and closer you got to it, the bigger and bigger. It was like, this thing's massive.
It's just gigantic.
Yeah, it's gigantic. But the stones on the pyramid.
Tom's holding his hand about 5 feet off the ground.
Yeah,
Right.
that was just one stone.
Wow, 5 foot by how big? 5 by what? Just giant.
Right here, the length of this thing.
Wow, so maybe 5 by 10 is he sort of pantomiming it out for us.
Yeah, that's how it's so big. And then I climbed one of them.
Oh wow, just one though.
No, I climbed the pyramid.
Oh, the whole thing?
Kind of. They kept telling me to come down.
They're like, hey, you get down. We got to see the video.
Get down. That's way too high. There's 3 of them. And
Right.
I think it was one of the smaller ones on the side. But I went almost to the top. I should have went to the top.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, it would have been awesome, but I didn't.
So now the Bedouins in that video, are those actual Bedouins?
Yeah, those are actually guys that desert people. They said, hey,
Nice.
they brought them in and they had them ride through and stuff. And they were like, they wanted money and they'll let you ride their horse.
Oh, right on.
It was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I remember reading an article several years ago that Slayer was one of the first bands to bring a security consultant on tour with them.
Yeah.
To sort of instruct venues as to what heavy metal was and what heavy metal was not.
Yeah, just to, you're there to protect. You're not there to beat people up. They in turn are paying your salary, so you need to treat them like they're the boss.
Right.
That's basically it. And then because that's always been our attitude about it. It's like, these kids are coming here to have a good time, and when they come over, they don't mean to hurt anybody. Mm-hmm. It just sort of happens. It's part of your job, so just pull them over, walk them out to the side, and let them go. Yeah, we did. It was Jerry Mealy, he lives out here, and I think he lives in Scottsdale. So, but yeah, we had him come out, and everywhere we went, he would get together the security and tell them how we wanted stuff done, and it was a smooth tour as far as security. And I'm hoping that him doing that, it kind of left an impression on everybody, because I think that's a lot of securities are done that way now.
Right.
Where we go to a place and they're really, they seem to know what they're doing now. And I'd like to think that it was all from that. So.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's like, like kids nowadays, they don't kind of remember what it was like back in the day going to show. It was almost an invitation to get your ass beat.
Kids nowadays don't know what that was.
because things like the Mayhem Festival.
We're talking about 25 years.
30 years ago.
30 years ago. Right. And these, we used to go in there and beat each other up. Nowadays, we got a whole new generation of kids that don't know that. So they're experiencing it for the first time. So things are a little easier in the pit now. They're just new kids and they don't know what's going on. They're just like, we just run around in circles? Oh, they go out there, run around in circles, they get smacked. Like, that's what happens.
Right. Yeah, you figure that out real quick.
Figured it out real quick.
Right. There's a lot of people sort of want to know about what's going on with Lamb of God and Randy Blythe. Do you have any input on that? Do you know something that we don't know?
No. I actually read that the other day. A friend of mine emailed me what's going on. I don't know.
Right.
He's doing what anybody in a band would do. A kid gets up on stage, you push him off, and that's where the discrepancy is. I haven't seen the video clip, and they said it's pretty obvious in the video clip what was going on and what happened. I haven't seen it, so I can't tell you what I think. But it's like anything else. You get a kid gets on stage, you push him off. And whatever happens to him down there afterwards.
Yeah.
But first off, foremost, they have security there so the kids don't get on stage, but they also have security there so the kids don't hurt themselves when they come over to the barrack. So it's like a two deal thing there. And the minute they turn around and tell the kid to walk, and they turn around and they see that kid coming up on stage, they're told to make sure nobody gets off stage. So they're going to grab the kid.
It's heavy. It's
pretty f***ing heavy. I feel sorry for him, because now he's stuck in this spot, and it's kind of hard to say if there would have been a different outcome had he not touched the kid, or would it still be the same outcome? You know what I mean? I hope that it gets settled, and I hope that he can come home.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That would be awesome if we come home, because that's just not cool. Nowadays, you have to really think about that kind of shit.
Right.
I mean, I hate to say this, 25 years ago, stuff like that, if it happened, it happened. Nowadays, if it's happened, everybody has discovered that they have rights. But rights are great, but you also have you have to share in responsibility. You have to be a responsible person. You have to be responsible for your own action. Randy has to be responsible for his action of whatever he did. But the kid has to be responsible for the action he took upon himself to get up on the stage. You took the initiative to do that. These guys said, no, you can't do that. And apparently he tried several times. To me, it's like, we all have to, we all carry the burden of our own responsibility, being responsible for our own actions and ourselves. We all share in that. You know what I mean? So we all everybody needs to understand that, and that's something that people don't understand these days. Now it's whenever something happens, it's like, you did this to me. It's like, well, we told you not to go there, and you did it 10 times, and the 10th time we're like, okay, buddy, how you gonna get it through your thick skull?
Yeah,
out.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. What is the best part about being in Slayer?
The best part about being in Slayer, it's the stage time. Being on stage and screaming at all the kids that are looking at them, smiling at them, making everybody laugh. To me, that's the best time.
Oh, cool.
Everything else sucks.
Everything else is terrible. It's like, I'm on my bus. I got some fat guy in here with a microphone. It's a drag. I think what you're putting down, Tom.
Yeah, you got it. I don't even have to tell him anything.
All right, I'm going to tell you. I think that every guy who's a fan of metal has their Slayer moment, and I'm going to tell you my Slayer moment.
Okay.
You guys were on tour with Korn. It was the early '90s. I somehow was working radio, and I got backstage, and you're up there doing seasons, and I am just singing along, and I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever, right? And there's a girl next to her. She goes, "Oh, you kind of sound like the singer." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever, cool." And I get right back to it, and someone goes, "Oh, you know who that was? That was Tom's sister."
Where was this at? In San Diego?
Yeah. So my Slayer moment was someone said, "Yeah, that is Tom's sister," and she says, "You sound like Tom from Slayer." And I'm like, well, is this even possible? That was the coolest thing that ever happened to me, dude.
Dude, that's a good Slayer moment.
What is your Slayer moment? When you think of like your Slayer moment, what's your Slayer moment?
A Slayer moment?
Yeah.
I know I've had Slayer moments. They're forgotten.
They happen. I know that much.
I've had a lot of Slayer moments. I just can't remember them.
right, totally.
The biggest Slayer moment for me, and I don't even know if you could, was getting that Grammy. That was a Slayer moment for me.
Nice.
Because it was a song that me and Jeff put together. So that it brought it closer to home.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that was a Slayer moment because it allowed me to. That right there kind of cemented what we do as a band. Not only to the U.S. but to the world.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when I'm sitting there and I'm with my family in that picture and I'm doing this.
Yeah.
That was the Slayer moment for me.
That is fantastic, dude. That is awesome. I really appreciate you taking time out, dude. I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys tonight, and I've been a big fan for a really, really long time.
Slayer!
And there it is, my interview with Tom Araya of Slayer on the Slayer bus at the Mayhem Festival. I will say that having the singer of Slayer scream Slayer with me on his bus was a pretty rad Slayer moment.